Welcome back to another episode of the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast. My name is Amir. Before I get started, I want to thank everybody for following the podcast on Spotify. I also want to thank everybody for following the podcast on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube right now, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. So, for today's episode, I want to talk about Alan Hahn, who is a reporter on ESPN. He was on First Take with Adonis Haslam, Greenberg, and a few other guys. And basically, Alan Hahn said that he has a bold prediction this offseason for the Miami Heat. And the subject was just give me your best bold off-season prediction. And he said, well, Jimmy Butler's days in Miami are over. He said, you heard Pat Riley talk, and Pat Riley said something that put everybody's attention about Jimmy Butler. And one other thing, it's not just that, it's also Daryl Morey is laying in the weeds. And do you remember the mistake that the Sixers made? Daryl Morey might want to fix that mistake, bring Jimmy Butler back to Philly, and put together a band that should have been together years ago. So back in May during the playoffs, Riley criticized Jimmy Butler for trolling the Boston Celtics and the Knicks, um, despite Jimmy Butler, being injured and not playing against them. And he basically said, like, you know, shut your mouth, essentially, unless you're on the floor. Don't talk about these teams and start trolling when you're not even playing. And so that was one interesting moment that happened. And then, of course, after that, the Miami Heat had their press conference, and Pat Riley basically said that he wants Jimmy Butler to be more available, and he thinks that he said that he thinks that Jimmy Butler needs to be more available and healthy next season. And in order for him to get his extension, the Miami Heat want to possibly wait and see and not offer it this offseason. They have Jimmy Butler under contract for one more year, guaranteed. Then he has a player option next season or after next season. So he wants an extension, which would add essentially one more year to his contract. Pat Riley has basically said, we don't have to do that right now. And we'll wait and see, which I think I want to sign Jimmy Butler to that extension. I don't want to trade Jimmy Butler. I want to keep him. But I do understand and think it makes sense that the Miami Heat do take a wait and see approach to offer Jimmy Butler his extension versus just giving it to him right now. Jimmy Butler needs to understand that he is valued on this team, and he has taken us as far as we've gotten on his back, and we appreciate that. But we also need to understand that he's going to get older, and we're already a first apron team, and his contract can hinder our roster in the future, and especially in the future that he would be a part of if he gets his extension for the next 3 years, and we might be limited in terms of the moves that we can make via trades and free agency because of the salary cap issues. So if the Miami Heat can somehow meet in the middle and shave off some of that contract value, and get him to stay within like the 40 million range, 42 or whatever he's going to be making, 50s at age 37, 38, then that can make sense. But also, if he plays and has a really good season next year and plays more than 65 games, which he's never done for the Miami Heat, and makes an all-star team and shows that he can play and help us in the regular season and in the playoffs, then you could reward him with that extra year based on performance. So I'm okay with the wait and see approach. But the funny thing about this comment from Alan Hahn was that Udonis Haslam was on the panel. Um, and basically, Greenberg came up to him and said, hey, like, what are your thoughts on that take that he thinks that he's gone? And we know that UD on TV talked about Tyler Hero um, a few months ago. Basically, I forgot the context in the comment, but I think he forgot that he's also a executive on the Miami Heat's front office, and I think he learned his lesson basically by trying to keep his lips tight and not saying anything because they came to him and said, "What are your thoughts on that?" And he's like, no comment, basically. Like, he's like, I can't really comment on this. I know I don't think it would have been tampering if he did mention anything, but he kept his mouth shut and he said, I'm going to call Jimmy Butler after this, basically, this show. So, um, it seems like the Miami Heat, based on that comment and what Pat Riley said in his press conference, saying that Jimmy Butler is our needle mover. We don't want to trade him. He said that in the presser. It seems like they do want to negotiate with Jimmy Butler and keep him on this team. It doesn't seem like they're trying to shop him. I think the noise that is coming out is from Daryl Morey and other teams speculating that the Miami Heat might lowball him to a certain degree, and they're maybe trying to entice Jimmy Butler to become disgruntled or something like that. I have no clue, but thought it was a funny take, and who knows? I mean, Alan Hahn could be correct. It could be um, over for Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat, or the Miami Heat could give him that extension this summer. We'll see, or they could take a wait and see approach, and maybe Jimmy's okay with saying, "All right, let me ball out and show out to earn it." Or he could request a trade. I have no clue what's going to happen this offseason. So this is going to be the biggest pressing question this offseason. Before I mean, after the draft, then of course free agency starts June 30th, but still, all eyes are on the Jimmy Butler situation right now for the Miami Heat. So, anyway, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with Alan Hahn? Do you think Jimmy Butler played his last game in a Miami Heat uniform against the Sixers in that playing game where he got hurt, or do you think he'll be back next season?